Welcome to Star Canum, where we are obsessed with Star Wars Unlimited. I'm Ryan, and I am joined today by Bo-Katan, because I have a fun deck I want to show you. I'm thinking about taking this one to my Planetary Qualifier. So Planetary Qualifier, kind of a big deal. It's this big tournament. There's a couple of these spread out across the country this year, and I'm lucky enough to have one right in my own backyard here in Rochester, New York, at a game store called Millennium Games, which I'm told is the biggest retail game store in the country. So there's going to be a huge turnout there, and I'm sure lots of competitively geared players. Now, not that I'm not competitive. I do fine in my weeklies, and I'm undefeated at pre-releases, and I have a wealth of trading card game background to draw upon, but I still don't want to show up and embarrass myself, so I've been putting in some reps with this deck, which I will show you now. All right, so what I have is a red and blue, or aggression vigilance deck with Bo-Katan as the leader, and then we've got a mix of Mandalorian units plus some cool droids, and even a helpful Jedi up at the top end to close out games. So the thing with Bo is that her ability says if you attacked with a Mandalorian unit this turn, you can exhaust her to deal 1 damage to a unit, and when she flips, that actually can become 2 damage if you've attacked with a Mandalorian unit. So we want enough Mandalorians to trigger that reliably, but as you get into the higher costs, I actually kind of switch gears into some other more powerful units to kind of balance things out a bit. And so down at the small end, we've got stuff like Sabine and the Clan Ren Rescuers and Followers of the Way and Ketsu Onyo, all of which are great turn 1 plays. And then we can back those up with Mandalorian Warrior coming down for 3 resources, buff somebody, get in, use Bo, do some damage, and just try to control the board and have our units outlasting whatever our opponent is trying to do with theirs. Over in space, we get some help from stuff like Concord Dawn Interceptors, disabling Fangfighter, which is really great against something like Sabine, Leader, who's trying to put Darksaber down really early. We also have Razor Crest to pick up our upgrades, and we've got a couple of interesting upgrades in here. I've got 2 copies of Top Target right now for the healing, 2 Luke's lightsabers, which I think are better than Darksabers, but we'll talk about that in a second. And then 2 copies of Mandalorian armor to kind of, again, protect our people, put some shields on them. Works great on Bo to keep her alive longer so she can keep attacking and doing more damage. So then, like I said, we kind of switch gears and start getting help from the droids. So at 4 resources, we've got K-2SO, who is still probably one of the better 4-cost units on the heroic side in the game. So we can use Bo to soften somebody up, and then K2's Overwhelm hits extra hard. And then at 5, we have IG-11. Now this could be Poe Dameron if you own some. I don't have any Poe Damerons, so I'm using IG-11, which I think is a perfectly reasonable budget replacement. And he also works really great with Bo. Again, you can use her to deal 1 damage to somebody, then when IG attacks, he gets to throw on another 3 damage, and can just mop up almost anything our opponent can play. And then finally, at the top of the curve, we've got the Mandalorian himself, who is a Sentinel, comes down the same turn we deploy Bo, so he can get in front of her and protect her. And then we can finish things off with Luke Skywalker, who's just generically good, and if you've got him, you might as well play him. So that's the deck, and like I said, I think the lightsaber works better here than Darksaber, because the Darksaber costs 4, and that's a lot, and it works great in the Sabine deck because she can deploy on 4, and you can immediately put the Darksaber on her where it is much safer, right? As a leader, she can't be waylaid or fell the dragon, or a bunch of stuff just doesn't hit her that early on. Eventually, she can be Rival's Fault or whatever, but on turn 3, that's a lot of damage, right? But if, in our deck, we would have to hold on to that Darksaber probably until 6 resources, and then stick it on Bo, and it just doesn't do as much. The lightsaber is way cheaper, but if you put that on our Sabine unit, or heck, you can give it to Quill or anybody, and then if that person dies after getting in for 6 or 12, we can use Razor Crest to pick the lightsaber back up and just replay it. So that's a pretty efficient way to just stack up damage, and I'm hoping to prove that to you here today. So we're going to jump over to Karabast and run through some games and see how my Bo-Katan Kataniacs list here performs. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Bo-Katan. Can she do it? Yes, she Katan. I don't know. I'm sorry. We're going to go first. We're up against a red Luke, which is cool. And our opening hand has a single 2-cost unit, our own Luke, some expensive stuff. I think we got a mulligan this, right? And it's a little better. I mean, we got a 2 into a 3, so I think we probably don't need 2 of these Mandalorian warriors. And what else can we resource? The lightsaber? No, I think we get rid of IG-11 for now, as much as I like him. If they hit us with like an early force throw, that would hurt. So we'll just play our rescuer. He put some experience on himself. We're up against Ketsu Onyo, so we're going to claim here. All right, and now we draw Luke, who is really good, but we are a long way from 7 resources, so we're going to have to bench him for now. And I think we just attack. Do I want to kill Ketsu here? I think I'm going to go base, because they only have 25 health, and if I can win this race, then we're good. All right, so they trade off. So now, unfortunately, this Mandalorian warrior doesn't have anywhere to put his experience, but that's okay. They go to space. I think we just claim here. We could use Bo to deal 1 damage to that Interceptor, but my plan is to pretty much just ignore it. We're going to resource a covert strength, and we'll start by attacking with our Mandalorian warrior. And then we can play K2. And they've got village protectors, that's fine. So since we attacked, we can deal a damage to that and take the shield away, although I guess they can just use Luke to put 1 back on, but hey, at least now it doesn't have 2 shields, right? That's fine. All right, we picked up Quill and Koska Reeves, both of which are pretty good here. And I think I'm just gonna put Razor Crest away for now. All right, so again, I think we will attack with the warrior first. That takes care of the shield. And now K2 can just trample over this thing. See what they want to do. I could also just give the lightsaber to K2. That seems pretty good. Really depends what they play next. Oh, they just go to the base for 2. Okay. How do we feel about giving a lightsaber to a droid? Kind of building our own wrecker here. Unfortunately, he is now a prime target for like Fel the Dragon or something. All right, they just play Poe. Okay. So we'll attack, trample over the defenders. They use Tarkin Town to kill our robot. And now do I want them to discard or take 3 more? I think I want them to discard here, actually. All right, they lose a Kanan. We still get to play stuff. We're gonna put down Quill. And then I might as well also use Bo to just throw a damage on Poe. So I think we can probably resource this Follower of the Way. He's not super useful at this point in the game. Much better on our early turns. Also another good target to like hold a lightsaber because he gets huge. All right, let's see what they want to do with their Poe here. All right, looks like they attacked Quill and they discarded a card to deal 2 to take out our Mandalorian warrior. Okay, that's actually fine. So let's see, they've got 6. We could just deploy Bo and then use the armorer to give her a shield. I think that's all right. Unless they're on a Rival's Fall here, that would really hurt. Okay, no, they're just playing tech. Okay. So yeah, we'll play the armorer, get some shields out. And they use Luke to put a shield on tech, but we can go to the base. We could pop that shield. And then they play their Luke Skywalker and we just claim. All right, Luke hits Bo, pops her shield, and now they're force throwing us. So we'll give up the Interceptors. They'll get to do 3 damage to something. That's not really enough. We can even use Covert Strength now to heal her. Yeah, I think I like putting Koska down. And unfortunately now Poe has a shield. So do I just use the armorer to take out Luke? But then Poe probably takes out Bo. So I guess we'll send Bo actually at the base. And we'll knock out oppose shield. All right, we got him to 18. We're cooking, but this is a huge board, and the fact that tech means that they can smuggle stuff. I mean, they've got options for sure. Poe attacks the armorer. All right, so they trade off. So I think I like using covert strength here to make it so that they cannot kill Bo-Katan now. Okay, good move, because now their Luke doesn't kill her, although I guess they can just attack into her now, but at least we forced their hand. Yeah, so now their Luke is gonna take out our leader, but then we get to claim and club them for like a lot with IG-11? No, they attack into IG, so now we get to claim, and now I guess they can just still use tech? No, they... Okay. Interesting. We've got our own Luke and a Quill, so I don't think we need to resource either of those. I see, so now they have no damaged units, so now our IG-11 doesn't actually get to wipe out anything. That was why they stacked it the way they did. So I guess we'll just go to the base, put them to 24. Oh man, if we lose this, I love losing games when you get the opponent down to 1 health left, and then they're gonna like restore and play redemption and heal and like, oh, yep. All right, so I guess we just play our Luke and squish their tech and then claim. And hope that they're not on, like, redemption or something. Force throw. Okay, I guess we give up our Quill. They get to deal 2, which kills IG-11, unfortunately. Okay, they throw 2 damage on Luke for some reason. They still have 6 left. But unless they have a way to restore or answer both of our units with what's left in their hand, or resources, I guess with tech they do have more options. They give Luke's lightsaber to tech. Okay. Yeah, I don't need to resource either of those. Do we just win on the attack here? Yeah, if we just go to the base, that's lethal. Okay, so Bo-Katan got there. That was a little dicey towards the end. I think the opponent maybe could have sequenced things in a way that prevented us from getting the win there, but hey, I'll take it. So that's 1 down. Let's see what is next in store for the Mandalorians. Okay, next match, we're up against a red Han. I don't know what's with the red-blue combos today, but I'll take it. We're gonna go first. And I think we can be fast enough to get under the Great Dragons and all the big stuff, but we'll see. All right, so maybe not with this opening hand. We only have Sabine, really. Well, Sabine backed up by a Mandalorian warrior, and the rest of our curve actually looks pretty good, so it's a little dicey, but I think we'll keep it. All right, so unfortunately we're gonna have to resource probably this 6 cost, and then, man, I don't really want to give up IG-11. He's really good against all the damaged units Han puts out, so do we get rid of, like, Casca? Yeah. All right, we get to lead off with Sabine unit. Opponent goes to space with the Concord Interceptors. We can ignore that just fine. We'll claim. We pick up another Casca and a Luke. I think I definitely want to hold on to him. And we already have a 4-drop with K2, so we can get rid of her. So I'm just going to attack in and start putting damage on the base. Yeah, they've got Kanan. That's actually okay because we can play Mandalorian Warrior, buff up our Sabine. And they claimed the initiative. They want to make sure they get in and attack with that Kanan. So I guess we're just gonna deal damage to him at least. So that way we're sure trading off with him. Pick up lightsaber and a survivor's gauntlet, which can actually punch through this interceptor eventually. Or we can just resource it. I don't know. Do we need a space thing? I don't think we do. I think we can just ignore space. Famous last words for sure. All right, they take down, ugh. That's actually not too bad because now we get to kill their Kanan before he heals. They get in for 1 with their interceptor. We get to play K2. And since we attacked again with a Mandalorian, we at least get to do another free point of damage here if Carabast will let it. There we go. All right. Okay, so we draw Night Owl Skirmisher and some armor. And this is going to be our 5 resource turn. So we could go like Skirmisher armor. We could go lightsaber on K2 and Skirmisher, or just play IG-11. Man, I kind of like just loading up K2, but I'm afraid they're going to have like removal for him. So I'd rather just keep my threats kind of spread out. And I guess we'll put down this lightsaber. Although maybe the armor was the right thing to... No, I kind of like putting that on Bo, actually. Okay, so they deploy their Han. We're just going to go to the base. Good move, because then they deploy their Sentinels. So now... Yeah, I think I like just playing IG-11 here. That gives us 2, like, really good threats. And then we get to claim. All right, we pick up another Luke, which is going to be good. A Follower of the Way, which is a little less useful. I think we'll just resource him. All right, so if we attack with IG-11, we get to do 3 damage to a damaged ground unit. That won't be enough to kill Obi-Wan outright. Like, obviously, his own 6 damage still does it. So do I just send in K2, but then he's going to buff up Han? This is tough. Yeah, I guess I'd rather just use K2 to take out Obi-Wan. And then we'll deal 3 more damage to the base. And he plays an early Luke Skywalker. Okay, that's actually not the worst thing that could have happened, I guess. So we'll play out this Night Owl Skirmisher. And they send their Han at the base. We're going to deploy our bow. And remember, we can't use her damage because we didn't attack with a Mandalorian. We had the droids out that turn. We're going to suit her up. And so now we can actually attack with her, kill this Luke, and kill the Interceptors. And then pass. So now we've got our own Luke and more armor and a top target, which is pretty good. We do have to resource something. Maybe we don't need 2 of these armor. All right, they activate Han to bring out a Wrecker. Sure. That is actually great because now they've killed a unit, so now we can just play Luke. And do we just get rid of Wrecker, or do we squish their Han? I think I like just squishing Han here. Bo can now... Yeah, I guess we just kill Han and throw 1 free point of damage on Wrecker. And then pass. All right, we picked up Clan Ren Rescuer and Covert Strength. So I think I like just resourcing Covert Strength here. I mean, this is surprisingly close. Oh, not surprisingly close. I mean, most games of Star Wars Unlimited, excuse me, are pretty close, really, if you're both playing a reasonable deck. But they've got a lot of cards still in hand. We have a board that's coming together nice, but I mean, I'm still worried about Redemption, Crate Dragon, so many things. Forces with me on Wrecker to attack for 9. Interesting. So I think I like making Wrecker a top target. Ooh, they heal him with Binds All Things. Okay, I see you, opponent, going all in on your Wrecker. So do I hit it with Luke and finish it off with Bo? Or hit it with Luke, finish it off with a second Luke? I guess that's all right. So Bo gets to go to the base. We put that to just 1 health remaining, which means we now play this Luke, squash that one, heal our own base for 6 off of the top target. And now we've picked up Razor Crest and an Interceptor, which is great because that means we could play Razor Crest and pick up top target again. Yeah, they've got Crate Dragon. Okay, so we're just gonna go Luke into the base. And then they're just gonna have to claim here, which is actually okay, because we're gonna hit him again with Bo. And so now we can just pass. Like, I don't think it's really worth playing either of these. Although maybe it is, to diversify our threats. Well, not really, because if we play Razor Crest, then Crate Dragon can just kill Razor Crest because it's a 4 for 4, so we're not doing that. right, so Crate Dragon can kill either of these, but either of these then attacks back and wins. So let's see if they have a way to answer our board. I guess putting down like another Sentinel here would kind of do it. Obi-Wan. So if I attack into Obi-Wan, I can kill him with Bo or Luke, but then he'll get to put experience on the Crate Dragon, who then gets to kill my other one. Oh, and then I just claim again. So I think we're still okay. So I'll have Obi-Wan fall to Luke Skywalker, just like in the movies. And now opponent pretty much has to kill my leader with the Crate Dragon. But now I just get to claim here, and unless they have a way to kill Luke, or if they have another Sentinel, they have Yoda. That's not going to be enough. Alright, so we pick up a lightsaber and a quill. We don't need to resource anything. We're just going to attack the base with Luke and win. And there we go. The Kataniacs, whatever we're going to say, got it done. That is pretty sweet. All right, trying to find one more interesting opponent for us to face off against, and it looks like we've got Kylo Yellow, which I haven't actually ever played before, I don't think. We'll go first and see if we have what it takes for this unknown adventure before us. Okay, our opening 6 includes Luke, Covert Strength, Quill, Lightsaber, Night Owl, Skirmisher, Koska Reeves. So not any like cheap Mandalorians to trigger our attack. We could play Quill and then help comes later, but I think I'd rather take another shot at this, although having Luke in our opening hand's really good. But we're gonna mulligan. Am I gonna regret this? Yeah, I totally regret this because this is actually worse. Okay, well, we'll make it work. We're gonna get rid of this Survivor's Gauntlet. Don't know if we're gonna have time to even play that. And then probably this Mandalorian armor, and we're gonna bank on Quill doing some work here. I don't love it, but we'll see. We'll see what we can make happen. So normally, I think I've only ever seen like a mono red Kylo, like a pure aggression. So I have no idea what the yellow gives them. Like surprise strike? Do they just like really put on the damage? I'm also worried about like waylay or something. If I try to like load, upgrades on somebody, then I might just get sent back to my hand, and that would hurt a lot. So I gotta be very careful to play around that. So hopefully Quill can get in and just kind of draw us some more cards or something here. I don't know, but this is already an interesting matchup. Okay, opponent finally found the button that lets them play a TIE fighter, so I think we just claim here. They're giving me the question mark. What did I do? You're the one taking forever here, Moose. What? Alright, they got a Reckless Gunslinger. Sure. We pick up armor, which again is not super good here, although this Interceptor might help us a lot. So I think we can put the armor down. Alright, when played, deal 1 damage to each base. So we can probably just ignore that. Do I just play the Interceptors? I think so. That'll at least stop that TIE fighter from getting in. And then as of right now, they can't kill Quill. Oh my god, surprise strike. They go to the base? They go to the base. That's fine. Quill will get in. He flips over a Sabine, so we don't get to draw that, but we did restore 1. And they discard the silencer. Very cool. All right, so we didn't attack with a Mandalorian, unfortunately, so we can't use Bo to kill this, which really hurts. Because now they're going to get to... Oh, they didn't have the resources left to play the TIE silencer. Okay, cool. That's great. We'll put Covert Strength down as a resource, I guess. We don't have anything in discard for Razor Crest to pick up, so I think we just go with Quill. Do we just knock out this Gunslinger? I guess we do. Ooh, we picked up top target. That's going to be huge. And they just used sneak attack to get in a lurking TIE Phantom. Okay. So where do we go here? Fang Fighter? I don't think they're going to want to trade into the Fang Fighter. But now that we know this is going to get defeated anyway, we could just put top target on it, which, like, kind of cancels out whatever damage it's going to do. I think that's actually pretty reasonable, right? Alright, they get to deploy their Kylo, which is going to hurt. And again, we haven't attacked with any Mandalorians, so we can't use Bo to kill that Stormtrooper. Alright, they go to the base. And we get to restore the 4 damage they just did. And we drew Casca and a Sabine. Sabine, pretty good against like these one health people. We'll put down Casca. I think I want to attack first with Quill. And we draw Covert Strength. Okay. We'll attack with the Fang Fighter here, which does now let us kill this trooper. And they've got a triple dark raid. They find another Phantom. Alright. Well, opponent really loves those Phantoms. I think I'm just going to get rid of this Stormtrooper. They throw 4 on the base. That's fine. Razor Crest to bring back top target. So, triple dark raid. Return it to its owner's hand, so this won't be defeated, so top targeting it doesn't actually do a lot for us. I'm just gonna instead use Covert Strength on Quill and then pass. So now they've got nothing on board and we have like 9 power. Probably don't need 2 Sabines. We've got some Restore with Razor Crest and Quill, and they've been just burning resources here in order to keep pressure on. But like between our Restore and our top target in our pocket, all right, they play Kylo. Do I just ignore him? Do I make him a top target? I think I just ignore him for now. We pick up a lightsaber. Cool. All right, so then we can put that on Bo. Yeah, we're going to be fine here, I think. All right, he's got a fallen lightsaber. Oh, maybe we're not fine. Maybe we're not as fine as I thought. Let's get in with Razor Crest. Heal. Okay. Get in with Disabling Fang Fighter. We're going to make Kylo top target. We're going to deal damage with Bo because we can. Then we deploy her. And then if I armorer, do like that. So when Bo attacks, because we've attacked with other Mandalorians, she'll get to deal a total of 6 damage to Kylo. Knocks him out, and then we get to restore 6 off of our base, and all that cost us was the shield from the armorer. Okay. Yeah, our opponent can't hope to come back from that, so cool. We can handle Kylo Yellow, which again, I didn't know was a deck, but I think that shows kind of the range that Bo-Katan and her Mandalorians have, but we'll put the deck back up on screen for final thoughts. Here we go. Okay, so as we saw, it is pretty important to hit one of those cheap Mandalorians on the first turn, either your unit Sabine or Ketsu or like the best 2, but Clan Ren, Rescuer, and Follower of the Way also work in a pinch just so that you can activate your leader's ability and you can follow that up with something like Mandalorian Warrior to buff somebody. When you have to lead off with Quill, you're in a little bit of a worse shape, but he's just such a good 2-cost unit anyway. I think he still fits, and it's not like we have any other Mandalorians really to go in that slot anyway. Other things that were cool, I mean, Concord Dawn Interceptors is a fine defensive card, holds up against A-Wings, TIE Fighters, all that small annoying stuff. Disabling Fang Fighter is really crucial against anything that plays its own upgrades. And our upgrades, the lightsaber, like, slaps. I mean, getting +3 for just 2 is kind of insane, and it turns all of your little things into real threats. It works great on stuff like Casca, works great in the hands of Luke Skywalker if the game goes that direction, or it just turns your Bo-Katan into like a 7/8 who gets to throw a free point of damage when she attacks. So you have like an 8/8 leader at that point, which is pretty amazing. Other stuff, right? Razor Crest remains like super cool in space. Picking a lightsaber back up or a top target back up feels really great. Mandalorian armor, probably the weakest of our 3 upgrades. I'm almost wondering if it's worth doing 3 top target and 3 lightsaber and just drop the armors. I mean, when they're good, but they're like almost never like great. They improve your defense, and I feel like this deck wants to be more aggressive. So that's one thing I'll keep an eye on. I might take those armors out and just put in either more lightsabers or top targets. I know I just said being aggressive is important, but top target lets us stay alive an extra turn to be aggressive, if that makes sense. Covert Strength and the Night Owl Skirmisher are kind of like our smuggle cards. That just makes it a little bit easier to decide what we're resourcing. Although in a pinch, I mean, Covert Strength can be good. It can throw an upgrade on somebody by virtue of experience, which is useful for Follower of the Way and Cosca Reeves specifically. But like, I don't know, maybe that should just be Fell the Dragon so that we have a way to answer anything bigger than our little Mandos. I'm kind of up in the air on that one. Or at the very least, maybe I would have some true removal in the sideboard, and depending on what I'm up against, if I'm doing a best of 3, I would probably take out Covert Strength and bring in either Rival's Fall or Fell the Dragon, or maybe just takedowns if it's another aggro kind of matchup. But yeah, I really like K2 and IG-11. I mean, those droids are great, and they really work even with what this deck's trying to do. They're not Mandalorians, but by the time we play either of them, we probably have enough other Mandalorians out that we can still reliably trigger Bo-Katan, and then the droids just help pour on the damage and close things out. I mean, if we need it, we've got the Mandalorian, and then Luke also there waiting in the top end. So overall, pretty happy with this one. Maybe some minor tweaks here that I will still make before the Planetary Qualifier. For me, that's going to be Saturday, October 12th. So I might do another video or 2 before then. If not, follow the channel so that you can hear about how I do. I think there's going to be like 128 competitors there. And like I said, I've not really played in anything quite this big before. Certainly not for Star Wars. For some other games, I've played in some big events. But I mean, this is going to be a huge test of my knowledge of Star Wars Unlimited. So I hope I perform well. And yeah, based on how we just ran things here today, this might be the deck that I end up playing. What do you think? Good idea? Bad idea? Should I just play like regular Sabine or, Red Ray or something like classic and established? I like to bring my own thing. I want to have fun with the game, and to me that means building my own deck or putting my own spin on things. I mean, this list was kind of inspired by a Veiled Shot list from a couple of months ago, I guess at this point. But I kind of seasoned it with my own flavors, right? The droids, especially K2 and IG-11, were kind of my own additions. And I think they work well with the leader, but I'd love to know what you think. So leave me a comment down below, and then make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the unlimited adventures we have here on Starcanum. I'll see ya.